Alright, so this video is an introduction to attachment theory. I will have 4 other videos posted on each and every attachment style. So there's 4 different attachment styles. We have secure attachment, we have anxious attachment, we have avoidant attachment, and then we have the disorganized attachment style. So here's the thing about all 4 attachment styles. What happens is from a day a person is born up until the age of 25, the neurons in their brain takes shape according to what they experience. Once again, from the day a person is born up until the age of 25, their experiences literally shape the way their brains actually work. Okay, so depending on what type of attachment style a person has, some parts of their brains work more than other parts, and vice versa. So you have an anxiously attached person, they use more of their limbic cortex, while an avoidantly attached person uses more of their frontal cortex. It's just how their neurons have been shaped over time. So how does this work exactly? So a person's neurobiology is literally being shaped based off of what they encounter throughout the first 25 years of their life. Okay, so if you are a child and, for example, you go through a situation where you have to detach from what's going on in order to keep yourself safe, and the similar thing sort of happens over time, your body, literally biologically, the way that a child behaves in the future is going to be what they are biologically used to from the ages of newborn to 25. So they have to detach, right? In this example that I've given you, they will most likely form an avoidantly attached style or a dismissive attachment style, and they are going to try to detach from situations where they see an issue with, once they feel uncomfortable, they might actually walk away. They might actually focus on other things because, like I said, with an avoidantly attached person, they use more of their frontal cortex, which means that they like to think a lot more. So these people are great at studying. These people are great at completing a specific type of task, especially if there's counting involved. So the amount of paperwork they have to get done. So they would do all of that. Literally, their attention falls into work when there are stuff going on in the social environment that they're not comfortable with. So then you have an anxiously attached person. Now, in their childhood, quite the opposite. They felt the need to attach more to people. They felt the need to be in more crowded areas, and that's pretty much their safe zone, being with people. They are not going to try to, leave a situation. In fact, quite the opposite. They like to ask more of what happened, and here's the thing about attachment theory. Yes, the neurons in the brain has officially taken shape once a person reaches the age of 25. That is true. Once you're past the age of 25, you're past the age of 30. What happens is that it is hard to change your neurobiology. So you're going to react to certain situations in the exact type of way that you did back in your childhood, because that is what you're comfortable with, that is your safe zone. And yes, that is true. But here's the thing, with an avoidantly attached person, leaving from a situation is not always going to help them. And with an anxiously attached person, falling into crowds and asking questions about what's going on in the environment is actually not going to help either. So it all depends on the situation. It all depends on the context. Now, a securely attached person, yes, they could make mistakes sometimes. They could leave when they're not supposed to, or they could get into the crowd and start asking questions when they're not supposed to, either or. But usually with a securely attached person, they are able to understand the context, and they are able to fix the issue in the more appropriate manner according to the situation. And then you have a disorganized attached person. They actually do the weirdest things possible. Okay, let's say there's a situation where the situation doesn't even matter at this point, okay? With a disorganized attached person, there is a problem with them. It's like they don't leave, but they don't try to fix the situation either. They are usually the ones who, um, I don't want to be like, hold on. Okay, this is what I could say about people with a disorganized attachment style. They normally have a parent or two who actually have a personality disorder themselves. So with them, they actually don't know how to handle situations either or. So an avoidantly attached person runs from a situation, an anxiously attached person runs towards the situation. Disorganized attachment is when they do both. I know I'm gonna make a whole separate video on the disorganized attachment style. Like I said, I'm gonna make 4 different videos with with each and every attachment style like described. In all 4 of them, you know, there's a lot of detail that I have to go through. But with disorganized attachment, I mean, not that many people in the world actually have this attachment style. Actually, more than half the world really has the secure attachment style. And you know, I've done a lot of research about this. The numbers are pretty much different in different research papers, but I'm saying more than half the world has a secure attachment style because over 50%, let's say about 60% of the people actually have a secure attachment style. And then after that, the second most frequent attachment style that you would see with people is the anxious attachment style. So let's say we said 60 for the secure attachment people, anxious attachment people, let's say 20% of the world, okay? So 60% of the world has a secure attachment style, 20% of the world has an anxious attachment style. And then with avoidance, it's actually not that frequent either. Let's give it, so you're gonna say there's only 10 and 10 left, but let's say about 12% of the people have an avoidant attachment style. And then lastly, like 8% would have the disorganized attachment style. So disorganized attachment is actually not that common. No, let's stick with 10 and 10. So 10% would have an avoidantly attachment style. And then the last 10% is, of course, the disorganized attachment style. Yeah, not that many people in the world has a disorganized attachment style, but not that many people have an avoidant attachment style either. Like these people are also kind of rare. These are the more serious people. They are usually the people who end up, you know, being at the top of whatever field they're in because they're always working. You know, anxious attachment style people, they don't really focus that much on work. They actually focus more on socializing. You know, they love being with groups of people, they love going to parties. So that's the anxious attachment style. And secure attachment could do any part perfectly. I wouldn't say perfectly because, like I said, a person with a secure attachment could also make a mistake. But with people with a secure attachment style, they can work when they have to, and they can go to events when they have to. Anxiously attached people usually go to events instead of doing the work. Avoidantly attached people usually do the work instead of going to parties. And then you have the disorganized attachment, which it's like, what are they trying to do? So yeah, I feel like I talked too much in this video about the 4 different attachment styles. Like I said, the neurons in the brain take shape from the day a person's born up until the age of 25, and biologically they react to certain situations according to what they feel is safe at the moment. And as a child, if they have been conditioned to, you know, run towards a situation or run from a situation, they are most likely going to do that in their adult lives, even though sometimes it is not appropriate for them to behave in that manner. It is what they are physiologically used to. All right, so that pretty much sums up the introduction to attachment theory. Next up, we will be talking about the secure attachment style. It is going to be all about the secure attachment style and what their childhood might have looked like and how they would turn out in their adult lives. And yeah, pretty much the next video is all about secure attachment, and later on we talk about anxious attachment, and then we talk about the avoidantly attached, and at the end we finally get to the disorganized attached style, which is the more complex attachment style that there is amongst the 4 attachment styles. Anyways, so that pretty much sums it all up. Thank you for watching. Give this video a good thumbs up, and stay tuned for my other videos. And wait for this to turn into one big podcast. I would love to have people to watch the podcast version. And if this is the podcast version, thank you so much for watching. The attachment styles are coming up next. So please stay tuned. And yeah, like and subscribe. And thank you.